Now it's time to put our oboe together. So go ahead and have a seat on the floor, and I'll see you in a second. All of our oboe cases are different, and I hate to say that because we've replaced them throughout the years. If you have one with a zipper, which I think most of you guys do, it's actually really simple. The design or the logo of your case should be on the upside. Notice on the other side, there's nothing there. This is the bottom. Do not open it with this on top, because if you do that, your oboe will spill out everywhere and then it just won't be pretty. Okay, so go ahead and put your case on the floor with the logo up, okay? And let's go ahead and unzip this baby. Just like that, right? Everybody say ooh and ah. The oboe is actually really simple to put together. At this point, you would take your reed, which is usually sitting here in the reed case. I apologize, I don't actually have an oboe reed to demonstrate this, but you're going to take your reed and you're going to put it in your soaking water, just like we have already been doing. Next, we're going to look at our cork grease, because there are corks on this instrument that have to be greased up. You want to grease them about once every 2 weeks or so, just so that they slide together easily. And again, that depends on how many times you assemble and disassemble your instrument. Sometimes you might need to put it a little sooner. Best rule of thumb is if it gets hard to put together, put cork grease on it, okay? Let me go grab my cork grease and I'll show you how to put it together, or put it on there. So this is cork grease, okay, and it's not chapstick, okay, so make sure you don't use it as chapstick. But to use it, I'm going to twist just a little bit on the bottom, and it's going to give me just a little bit of cork grease, and I'm going to smush just a little bit of it on there like that, and then spin it around with my finger, just like that. And it's okay if you still have some left over, because you actually have 2 corks on this instrument, and they both need cork grease, okay? When you are done with both of those corks, your hands will probably still have grease on them. Do not wipe this on your clothes. If you wipe it on your clothes, you're going to end up with stains on there. Your mom is going to yell at you. Life will not be pretty. Find somewhere discreet to wipe. For example, paper towel, or like I like to do, right on my sock. So I just wipe it on my sock. If you don't have a sock or paper towel, find a nice spot on the floor, wipe, but I didn't tell you about that. You didn't learn that from me, okay? Once our instrument is cork greased, okay, then we can start assembling. We start with the bell of our oboe because it's the easiest one to start with. I like to build my oboes from the bottom up, okay? You have a little key right here, right? So be careful, because what we want to do is we're going to grab with our left hand, that's the one that makes the L. You're going to grab and just hold that button down like this. This button here moves this lever. Notice it's moving up and down like that. Okay, so grab that and hold that button down so that the lever is up. We want that lever up because it actually receives this other lever on the other side. When we put this thing together, we're going to do small twists and push together, and that way we can do the least amount of any potential damage on our instrument. I take the back part of the oboe, the part that has the least amount of keys, and I put that right in the palm of my hand like so. Watch again. Let me set this down. But the black part here in the back goes just like that. And then I try to put my fingers, right? My thumb goes about right there. But what I'm trying to do is avoid putting my fingers across these giant bars here. These bars are very sensitive, and if you put too much pressure on them, you're going to end up bending it and locking up all the keys, and then nothing works. So notice my fingers, I just move it around and try to situate it to where none of the keys are, where my fingers are on the black. Okay? So again, back to this side. Bell here, right thumb on this part of the bell, and this part here, right, that I said sticks out here, actually touches with this part here. So what I'm going to do is try to line them up, and I'm going to do small twists, and put them together. So I'm squishing them together, pushing them together, and doing small twists. Notice I said small twist. Look up. This is not a small twist. These are small twists, okay? And when you do that, you can actually line this up. So we want the center of this bar here to line up with the center of that one, okay? So go ahead and do that so it lines up, and you should be good to go. Next part is putting the lower joint with the upper joint. This part's kind of tricky because there's a lot of bits and pieces here. So what I like to do is put this part of the oboe, the thumb part, right here in what I call the flappy part of skin between my index finger and my thumb. Just like that. These fingers, I'm not going to put any pressure on this. I am going to move them in just a little bit so that they're pushing down on those keys. And then I'm just going to try to avoid smashing keys as much as possible. This top joint, same thing. I'm going to put this black part here on the palm of my hand like that, and then try to wrap my fingers around so that I am not smashing keys. It's kind of tricky, okay? And you don't have to put too much pressure on the keys. If you have enough cork grease on this, it should go together perfectly, okay? I'm going to look at the back of my oboe like this, where all the black is. And there are two, just like there was a key down here that needed to match up, there are two keys up here that need to match up with each other, okay? So I'm going to slide this small slide and put together. That's all I'm going to do is small twist and slide together. We line up this key and that key, and when they're lined up, you are good to go. Now, last thing is you take your reed, stick it on there. That's all you have to do. And again, I don't have a reed, so I can't show you, but it's pretty self-explanatory how that's going to fit together. Before we actually play today, I want you to go ahead and disassemble your instrument. We're going to start off the reed, so let's go ahead and start off with the reed. So reed off. And then this top part, just grab somewhere safe, right? And pull and twist. Small pull and twist. Same thing with the bottom. Small pull and twist. And now I would like you to practice putting this thing back together and taking it apart about 5 times before we actually play today. Okay? Good luck with that.